What happened? Can I tell you?
Sure, you can tell me what happened.
Okay, so I had given him an application. I thought March, I've got a note from her saying this is her fiance and he would like to be on the rental agreement. So I gave him an application and they never turned it back in.
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
you
so
knew he was a tenant. You accepted his rent.
Right.
You knew he was a tenant. You accepted his rent. You have to give him notice.
She gave me 30 days notice that she was moving out. She did.
Just a second.
Okay.
On what date?
November 4th. I've got a 30-day notice.
From her?
From her.
Did you find out about him?
Yes.
What did you do to find out about him?
I've got notice that he would move out on Monday of November. He gave me notice he was moving out as well. She had
Just a second. Show me where he said, I'm moving out. What?
Ma'am, she had already moved the property, all my property, from the residence prior to me even saying nothing like that.
Just a second. On what date did she remove your property from the residence?
She removed the property on, well, you're saying it was on the 11th, 2 days prior to all that. When Dusty gave notice, that's the day I was still in the house, and I texted her and told her I wanted to be there and I wanted to keep paying the rent. I've been paying the rent also.
Well, you had paid rent for November.
Yes, and then she came 2 days later and changed the locks and removed all my property. Every stick of property in the house was gone. She gave it to one of her tenants. She took my couch, my love seat, and everything I owned and gave it to a tenant.
No.
Yes, she did. Yes, you did.
I've got a picture here of Dusty moving her things out.
Dusty can move. Listen to me. Dusty can move her things out.
Okay.
You have no right to move his things out. You have to go to housing court if you want to evict him, and evict him. He had been a tenant for over a year. You accepted rent for him from the month of November. In the month of November, you changed the locks and put his things. I don't know what you did with them, but you had no right to do that.
I didn't touch his things. Dusty moved all of his things, all of his possessions. She took hers and put all of his in the shed, in the lock shed.
So what you're saying is, listen, I don't know whether she knows what today is. Did you take all of his stuff and put all of his stuff in the shed?
The things were removed from the house, his things, and put in the shed.
By whom?
By Peggy's husband and a maintenance man.
Were you at home when that happened?
I was there when all of this was happening.
Okay. So you were there, he was not.
Right.
And did you tell them to move his things from the house into the shed and secure them?
Yes.
You told them that?
Yes.
And they did it?
Yes.
Are either one of those people here today?
Yes. The gentleman.
You moved his things?
I helped.
Just a second. You moved his things. Who do you work for?
I was with my mom at the day,
So this is
helping
your-
them,
just a
helping
sec-
my mom.
I'm her mom.
Just a second. What?
I'm her mom.
You got to be kidding me.
Who were you working for?
Nobody. I'm not working for anybody. I was helping my mom move her things out and just helping them
Who
clean
was
up.
with you?
It was me and Peggy's husband, and there was
That would be you.
Yes,
Yes.
Did you help move his things
Yes, I did.
out of the house into this shed?
Yes.
Well, that's all I want to know. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. Your counterclaims dismissed. You cannot illegally evict someone who you know has been a tenant for a year because you chose sides in a domestic dispute. Now, you knew, and if you have other rental property, you know that if you have a de facto tenant who's there and has been there for over a year and you've been accepting rent, put your hand down.
Okay.
And you've been accepting rent from that person, you have to say, you're not on the lease, I'm giving you notice. Then they may or may not leave. But you can't summarily eject somebody who you've accepted rent from, at least for the month of November.
I've got a signed agreement that he agreed to vacate.
Before or after you moved his things? Look at me.
After.
Look, after. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000.
Thank
We're
you,
done.
ma'am.